The M1 Carbine didn't see service until 1942, but its journey began back in 1938 when it was requested that a more lightweight rifle be developed to take the place of the M1 rifle for soldiers who specialised in specific roles, for example mortar crews, tankers, paratroopers, amongst many others. But these guys had found it to be too bulky and cumbersome to carry with them and use efficiently as a primary weapon. The most successful design for this new rifle came from the Winchester Company, who completely won over the army after several weapon prototypes of theirs were tested in 1941. After some refining and last adjustments to their prototypes, they had finalised their design of the new M1 Carbine, which then entered service in 1942. And although Winchester had designed and built the M1 Carbine, they were only responsible for a small percentage of the carbines that were actually produced during the war. Over 6.5 million M1 carbines were produced between September of 1941 and August of 1945, and each carbine cost around $45, and $45 in the 1940s would be approximately equal to $760 in today's money. The M3 variation of the carbine was the first ever nighttime sniper rifle in use with the US Army. This variant included a bulky looking scope and infrared equipment mounted on top of the carbine. Because of this, the carbine had no iron sights and was used purely for nighttime sniper operations. It proved to be very effective when in use in the Pacific and helped American troops to spot and stop Japanese forces from infiltrating American lines. In late 1944, it was becoming more common for Allied forces to come up against German troops, which were now equipped with automatic weapons. The M2 Carbine was then developed to combat this situation and hand back some of the advantage to the US soldiers. This variation of the carbine had some new features, but most importantly, a select fire mode. This meant that the carbine could be fired in full auto, which gave it a solid 850 to 900 rounds per minute. It also came with a brand new 30 round magazine as opposed to the older 15 round magazine. The M1 Carbine was originally intended to be a select fire carbine, but the idea was scrapped so that it could be produced and sent out to troops as quickly as possible. Although you may not think it for many of World War II's weapons, the M1 Carbine did actually have quite an inventory of attachments and accessories. Most commonly seen was a standard magazine belt pouch, which was mounted on the right side of the stock and held 2 extra 15 round magazines, which came in handy for a swift reload and a little extra space for more ammunition. Amongst other accessories, there was a collapsible stock, a bayonet lug, a cumbersome sniper scope and infrared sight, and of course the M8 grenade launcher was now also compatible with this new carbine. The M1 Carbine was adopted by several other forces during and after the Second World War. A small number of carbines were captured and used by the German forces, mostly after D-Day. A variation of the weapon was also produced in Japan after the Second World War under the supervision of the United States. In the last 2 years of the war, the M1 Carbine and some variants were even in use with the British SAS, and they were widely used by some countries' police and security forces too. Despite the amount of negative reports against the M1 Carbine, America's most decorated soldier of World War II, Lieutenant Audie Murphy, favoured this gun. In January 1945, he pretty much single-handedly fought off a German combined arms attack using only 3 things: a field phone, a 50 caliber M2 Browning machine gun, and his M1 Carbine. Now I don't know about you, but that really says something about the carbine to me. So we've covered the facts, let's jump into a game and cover the fiction now. Before we do, I figured I'd show you the loadout screen since I did talk a little bit about attachments for this weapon. As you can see, there's really not all that much. There's pretty much 3 options. You can either have them equipped or not equipped, and that's it. You can have your camo, but that doesn't really affect the stats of the weapon in any way. So let's go spawn somewhere, see what we can do. This is one of my favourite maps from Battlefield Hardline, the block. And we're playing team deathmatch as well. So hopefully we can get some good footage here. But I'm going to be really careful because this map is absolutely madness. absolutely madness. Oh, I've got someone with my frag. Jesus, this map is absolutely crazy, but that's why I love it. I just love it. It's so much fun. Got one. I'm really bad at aiming with this thing. I don't know whether it's because of the iron sights. Kind of make it a little bit more difficult to get your aim. It's not as easy to focus on your target looking through the iron sights. But I've actually been playing around with the M1 Carbine for the past few days, trying to get used to it so I could get some footage for this video right here. And man, it was frustrating at first. It was so frustrating. Oh, I didn't even realise that was an enemy. Let me back in. But yeah, it was really frustrating because everybody else is using these modern day guns and they're so much more powerful, accurate. Everything just trumps this weapon really. But it's fun to use because of the whole old school side of it, the whole old fashioned aspect of things here. And it kind of reminds me of back in the day. Where am I? How did I get in a tree? Stuck in a tree. Am I literally stuck in a tree? No. But it does. It reminds me of the back in the day playing Call of Duty 2. I think it was called Big Red 1, and Call of Duty 3 with the. I think they did a really good job of covering the old school weapons, World War II weaponry in that game, and it reminds me of that. And it reminds me of that, but I don't think it's anywhere near as cool as I remember it to be in that game. In this game, it's fun to play with, but it's not got the same feel. It just doesn't feel the same. May not be making a lot of sense right now, but I'm just trying to like explain how the whole thing feels to me compared to older games, compared to other games that have World War II weapons in them. But it is still fun to use. I wish I had a sight other than iron sights because it can be difficult to try and aim on someone. Okay, there we got one. Get behind this wall. Safety for a short while. Man, they're throwing Molotovs everywhere though, so gotta be really careful. Also, you get a lot of snipers on this map. So there's a guy behind that trash skip thing right there. And they blew out my cover. Fantastic. Shit, get down. Get down! I'm retreating. Retreat through the flames. Through the fire and the flames. Okay, let's see if we can... No, he's outside, so I can't help that guy. I need to find a suitable place to kind of hide. Come on, get that guy. This is one of the things that I don't like about the M1, because you're trying to pop someone off at long range, it's just really difficult because you get close range kills pretty easily, but if you're going for long range, it's going to take you a long time to actually get a kill because the power drops off massively over range. And I just got sniped. But yeah, it has a lot of drop off on the damage over range. It is kind of accurate and easy to control, but being a semi-auto, if you're trying to take someone over long range and you're firing rapidly, then it's a lot harder to control. But that way is pretty much the only way you'll get enough bullets in someone to stop them, to kill them. At close range, it's not bad. You've got a chance at taking someone down just as much as they have a chance of taking you down. Depending on how fast you can pull the trigger, how accurate your shots are, then you're pretty much, I'd say it's equal. Damn! See, this is what happens. You get a kill, and then you get killed. Or maybe that's just me, because I'm not that good with this weapon. But I think it's fun to use. Okay, so let's go for one last little attempt here, and then we'll call it a day. We'll take our weary, tired bottoms home from the battlefield. Is that guy? Yeah. I thought he was alive. I mean dead. I thought he was dead. And I feel like people are shooting me from under here. Okay, he's back. It's really hard. It's really difficult to try and get your shots. Okay, we're still in the game. We're still in the game. Where did that guy go? There's a guy behind us. So let's see if we can... Come on. Yes, we got him. Revenge is sweet. And there's another guy here. If you pull the trigger fast enough, you can get a kill, and that's all I care about. So a lot of times, I get wrecked myself. But we're doing okay now. This is about to collapse. And there we go. There you have it, my final jump into the hands of death. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Stay tuned for next week's video where we'll be covering the Thompson submachine gun. You know what, I'm really kind of like worried now because I was planning to do a whole series on these World War II weapons, and I realised there isn't actually as many as I originally thought there was in this game. So if you want me to cover any of the modern day weapons in this game as well, then just let me know and I'll do that too, because there's only a handful of World War II weapons. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video either way. Let me know if you've got any suggestions for guns you'd like me to cover within this game. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you next week on Monday for the Thompson submachine gun. But until then, there's going to be videos in between as well, so keep your eye out for those. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you all later.